this is Hippie Thrash, and that's been part of this channel at YouTube. And again, it is episode 9 of the reviews, and I'm reviewing the recent Satan album, Atom by Atom. I don't know, this album really surprised me, actually. You know, I've heard some people going around saying that it's not nearly as good, at least the place I go, the forum, saying that it's not nearly as good as Life Sentence. Someone even said, one of the admins saying that, who's a huge Satan fan, said it's a little hard to get into. I don't know. I actually really got into this kind of quick. Satan has always been sort of almost kind of an odd band in some ways, because they really would kind of mix stuff around, because this sound, well, it's no different from Life Sentence, their comeback album. For some reason, it manages to actually grab me a bit more than Life Sentence did. And I'll definitely get into I guess one of the main reasons, it's definitely within a certain song that really just, that kind of holds this album together, and I'll get into that. But it is definitely kind of like Life Sentence. It's pretty much like Life Sentence Part 2, but there's definitely some difference though with this one. For some reason, there's a bit of a thrashiness also to this album. And it is no secret that Satan did change their name to Pariah and started to play more sort of thrash metal stuff. And Satan also, now I've never heard the album, but a Suspended Sentence I've heard was also a little thrashy as well. And Satan has always sort of mixed in a bit of the thrashiness stuff as well. Go back to Courtney Act and you can hear some of that on there as well. But Life Sentence, it was definitely there, but on this album, it's definitely a bit more thrashier sounding. Definitely within songs such as The Devil's Infantry and Bound and Enmity. Definitely one of the two songs that comes to mind that are definitely thrashy. They're both very well executed songs, very good. Really liking them. And the way even the album starts, there's definitely some good one. Or I gotta look at the back. Farewell Evolution. You know, there's definitely good ones on here. I really can't say that there's a bad song on here. Even the title track, Atom by Atom and In Contempt, both stellar songs actually. Just some great ones on here. But the one track that really holds this album together is the very last track. Oh. The Fall of Persephone. Shit, I gotta say this name. Persephone. The Fall of Persephone. Holy shit, what a song. It's as epic as it gets. And it's probably the best song Satan has ever written. Some of it's very much a storytelling track. It's a story, but it's, I don't know if there's any words to really describe this song. It's just the one word that I think that does come to mind that describes it is epic. It's an epic song. And even I can say about some of this album, there's definitely, it's a little proggy as well, and Satan has always sort of flirted with the prog stuff. They've always kind of flirted with it, and especially with their comeback album Life Sentence and Atom by Atom. They're both proggy albums, but they're not really prog metal, but it's on the borderline of it because of, for some reason, they're kind of like with Merciful Fate a bit. It's just always finds ways of just mixing a lot of stuff within, you know, just but the Fall of Persephone just some of the there's definitely a spoken word in here. Kind of reminded me a bit of Tears of Blood from the Life Sentence album, but for some reason it's actually done a little better. Yes, I have to say it's actually done better than that track because it's just builds and builds and builds and builds up to such a epic ending. At times I really don't care that it's 6 minutes long. It really, for even some of the sound, doesn't really matter that it's 47 or even over 47 minutes long. It's a freaking great album from start to finish. I actually dig this. It's not hard to get used to for me. Maybe I'm just one of those types that actually kind of likes a bit of the challenging stuff as well. Yet again, I dug Flight's debut album, and that really isn't a challenging album at all, but it's a very effective album. This one, kind of challenging, but still effective. But now I'm going to also get into for why I think this album is actually a little better. Even though it's just as good as Life Sentence, it's also a tad bit better than Life Sentence, and it's definitely the way that this album ends. The way that Atom by Atom ends blows away the way Life Sentence ends. Life Sentence ended with Another Universe. Probably one of the most odd tracks on Life Sentence, and that, not to say that was a bad thing, it was definitely almost an atmospheric way to end that album. This one, however, a little atmospheric, but it's also crushing and heavy. There really isn't any oddball tracks on this album. There's times where it seems to go into oddball places, but that's just Satan's way of writing. That's their way of writing songs. They seem to add a lot of like odd timings. Again, kind of back to the way progressive rock bands or even progressive metal bands would write, is the odd timings and whatever, and odd sort of styles. And for this one, it's definitely kind of odd, almost, but it works. Even riffs. There's definitely some times where there's just some like weird riffs, and again, that's how this band writes their music. But it's effective, it works. And the Fall of Persephone is just, for some reason, it just has a much better, it's a good way to end the album. I would say even one of the best ways to end the album. Even though Another Universe was definitely a great track, this one just seems to just do more for me than what Another Universe did. Because I knew that it's supposed to kind of make Life Sentence be a bit more, a little more epic and a little more atmospheric and more, different as well. Kind of add more variety with it, to me, Atom by Atom, I think, kind of just beat Life Sentence. I actually think they actually made an album that's actually even, because Satan, they just seems to make, I guess even with the next album kind of topping, it's like they just know how to make great albums, just stellar albums. I'm probably going to get some flack for even saying that that's actually better than Life Sentence. Though I don't know if it's better than Court in the Act. That's the real tough question. Because Court in the Act is such a classic album. Did Atom by Atom actually even top that one? Is kind of a good question. Which I don't think so, because Court in the Act, again, it's a classic album. Broken Treaties, right? Hope I got that track name right. Yeah, Broken Treaties is just that and Alone in the Dark, and I think No Turning Back, and some of those songs, they're fucking great. But this album is also great as well. Now, again, I probably will, if I'm gonna pick within the 3 Satan albums that I have, because I don't have Suspended Sentence, and again, I like to have my Satan in physical form. It's much more cooler, more badass to have their albums in physical form. So again, I really don't know if these albums are even better than Suspended Sentence, but then again, Suspended Sentence didn't have Brian Ross on vocals. But if I'm going to choose which albums that I want to listen to first, I probably would pick Courtney Act first. But after listening to that album, I'm probably going to get on a roll to listen to the other 2 albums, which is Life Sentence and Atom by Atom. However, since I'm going on a little too long with this video, I think, Atom by Atom, definitely a good album. I'll say it's definitely a solid album. I don't think it's definitely an album that's hard for me to get into. I think I really dug this one. There really isn't a bad song on here. Again, Satan just has a way of writing just really stellar songs. They really seem to just be on a roll. Ever since coming back, they've been on a roll with writing just amazing albums. And this one is definitely a stellar album. I would say this is definitely a contender for one of the best albums of this year. Now, all I have to do is, in order to probably say what album is the best, that's probably going to end up going to ambush. Anyway, this is Heavy Thrasher saying, I am out.